أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما الإمام المنتظر الحجة الثاني عشر روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد والفرقان الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي زدني علما صدق الله العلي العظيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, hope everyone is well and everyone can hear me loud and clearly. Yeah?
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana. Yes, we can hear you.
Right. Now, I've got some good news for everyone. So what I'm planning to do is that I'm going to, with me, I don't like teaching the same thing again and again. So I like to use different approaches and different methods of teaching. So with yourselves, inshallah, I will revise book 2. However, today I want to continue of something which I did start with yourselves. That was the verb conjugations, which is 50% of Arabic grammar. So Arabic grammar is divided into 2 parts. You have verb conjugation and changes of the verbs and the nouns, which is called sarf. And the other part is called nahu. Nahu deals with the changes of the last letter while that word comes into construction. So when a word comes into a construction, the harakat changes. Like you know, like the word ar-rajulu means the man. And if I say the man is, so if I said, so let me change al-rajul. If I said al-masjid, if I said the word masjid, and I would say al-masjidu, the mosque. But if I want to say the man is in the mosque, then we will say ar-rajulu fil
Masjidi.
Exactly. Ar-rajulu fil masjidi. So when we talk about fil masjidi, from al-masjidu fil masjidi, this is called nahu, which deals with the changes of the last letter at the time of sentence construction. So that's called nahu. Now, what I'm planning to do, mashallah, we have some bright students in the class. So what I'm planning to do with yourselves, I'm going to try to use a different approach and see whether this would be quite effective with yourself. So what I started in Shahr Ramadan, the verb conjugation, to understand the Quran itself. Now I want to do some extent continue that. Once I've reached a level which I think is suitable for yourselves, then I'll go into book 2, complete the revision of book 2, and then we'll move on forward from a different perspective and a different approach which I'm going to use with yourselves. So inshallah, see how that goes. As long if there's any concerns, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to adjust this approach which I'm trying to use with yourselves. I haven't done it with the other groups. I'm doing it with yourselves and see what response I get with yourselves. Now, I'm going to start from the basics and go through all of the different patterns. So in the Arabic language, now, in the Arabic language, there are different verbs. Now, you will find that in the Arabic language, we have the weak letters. In English, we have vowels. And in the Arabic language, we have vowels as well. Now, when the vowels come, which in the Arabic language is called alif, waw, and ya. Alif, waw, and
yeah.
These are the weak letters. Now, whenever there are weak letters in a verb, the way they are constructed, the verbs, they differ from the basic construction, which is like here, kataba. All of the 3 letters here in kataba, they do not contain any weak letter. So they follow the actual general default ruling of the verb conjugation. Is this clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah? I'll give you an example. Now, As you can see on the screen, we see ضرب. The present tense is يضرب. Yes?
Yes.
Now,
And
ضرب.
it has ya in it, and it is weak letter.
No, this weak letter is a good question you made, a good point you made. Now, these weak letters which are added to the present tense, these weak letters are letters which are defining the present tense. Even though they are weak letters, but these weak letters, they come in all of the verbs, and their mode and their way of coming in the verb is exactly the same, whether it's a weak letter or a non-weak letter. So these weak letters are generic to all of the verbs. They come with all of them, and they do the same changes. I'm talking about those weak letters which come part of the original three letters. For example, as you can see over on the screen, ضرب, the present tense is
يضرب.
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 just give me 1 second. I think this lesson is going to be a really good lesson, and let me just post this to some other students who will benefit from this, because I'm going to use a different approach in teaching this. So I'm just going to see how they find this beneficial as well.
I tried to get Zahra, Rizvi, and Munira so badly, but they didn't show up.
No, that's fine. That's fine. There's so many students. I unfortunately I haven't got time. That is how I'm to teach. But the only reason because I want to do other things apart from Arabic. There's there are other subjects which are pending for me. For example, as I mentioned, the polemics, and also there was a few other subjects which are pending, which I want to start, but I haven't had the time to do the actual preparation for them. But there's a reason for everything. Anyway, now in the ضرب يضرب, all of these three letters are non-vowel letters. They don't have the weak letters. Now, if it's a weak letter, I'll give you an example. Now, if it had a weak letter, like the word wa'ada, the verb wa'ada Allahu. In the Quran, the word wa'ada comes. Wa'ada means he promised. Wa'ada means he promised, okay? Wa'ada means he promised. Now, when we do the present tense of wa'ada, in the present tense, what happens is that the waw is dropped. The waw is
drops,
and it becomes wa'ada ya'idu. Wa'ada wa'ada
Aidu,
wa'ada ya'idu.
Yaidu,
Yeah. Wa'ada ya'idu.
Yaidu.
So this is now completely different. Originally, it should have been wa'ada, like wa'ada dharaba yaw'idu. Yo, the ya should have been there as yadribu, yo, I should have yaw'idu. Now, for the Arabs, they have rulings, and due to the rulings, the weak letter has been dropped in the present tense, and it becomes ya'idu. You following, everyone? Sister Bilqis, you're a bit quiet.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Yes, I'm following everything. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so this is the ruling with regards to weak letters, that the weak letter in the present tense is not mentioned, is only two letters, ayn and dal. Ayn and dal. So ya'idu, that is it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, okay.
Ayn and dal, ya'idu. Now, Sister Bilqis, what is the imperative of wa'ad of tadribu? What is the imperative?
Is rib?
Correct, idrib. Now, why did you say idrib? What is it?
Yeah, I forgot. It's about the to make it to the imperative, you have to drop the tha.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so then you change it into a kasra.
Yeah, because of the rod having a sukoon,
Yeah.
you drop the ta, we have to bring hamzatul wasl so that we are able to pronounce the word.
Yes, that's it.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, with regards to the imperative of wa'ada ya'idu, I'll show you. Let me show you. Put it over here. Just 1 second. Let me just get this onto the screen. Now, I've got it over here now. So wa'ada, he promised. Ya'idu, this is the present tense. And so Sister Bilkis, come back on the mic. So the ya, if you go to, as you know, the imperative is always for the second person. It should be, the ya should be a ta, correct?
Yes.
Should be ta'idu.
Taidu. Yeah.
Once we drop the ta, what happens? We're left with ayn and
Adal. Yeah.
dal. So can you see the only reason we brought the hamzatul wasl in tadribu because the rad had a sukoon, correct?
Yeah. And this doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just going to be the ain and the dal. Yeah.
So the imperative is,
Yeah. It's there. Okay. I understand.
so this is the reason why I have to give systematically everything to get yourself to be able to understand the Quran. So inshallah, I'm trying to use a different approach. I'm trying to cut the corners where I can cut the corners in the sense that those things which I feel I may be able to get away not teaching yourself. I'm trying to cut those areas where I can get you to the Quran and understand the Quran as soon as possible. So the imperative will be
Thank
id.
you.
So id, ida, idu, idi, ida, idna. So that is the imperative. Of course, I'm not going to, I'm just trying to explain what I'm trying to do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now let's go back. Let's go back to the verbs again.
Check. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Would you please go back because I didn't understand at all.
Okay, well, let me go back 1 second. So over here now, let me show you. Come on the mic, Sister Batul Andani.
Yeah, I'm on the mic.
Right, so Batul, now, you know the imperative, like, first of all, the word tadribu means you are hitting, correct?
Yes, Bibu, yeah.
Yeah, tadrib means you are hitting. Now, when we make the imperative, we drop the ta. Do you remember I spoke about that? You drop the ta. Because when we made the imperative, there's a ruling, you drop all the tas for the second person. And once we drop the ta, we bring the hamzatul wasl to be able to pronounce the word itself. Correct? So the alif is brought in, and the harakat of the alif is dependent upon the middle letter of the three-letter verb, which is a ra, which has a kasra. If the middle letter has a fatha or a kasra, the hamzatul wasl gets a kasra.
Yeah, kisra, yeah. Kasra, yeah.
So it becomes ib, rib. And the last letter gets a sukoon. The dhamma changes to a sukoon on the last letter, and in the jewel and the plurals, the noons are dropped. Correct?
Yeah.
Right. Now, with regards to now the weak letters, now I'm not teaching the weak letter. I'm just giving you some information for yourselves. I'm not teaching at the moment weak letter. I'm just giving you some information, some background information, so that you're aware what I'm trying to do with yourselves. Now, when we do the actual weak letters, waw, ayn, dal, which he promised, the present tense should be yaf'alu on the pattern of dharaba, yadribu. So the present tense now is on wa'ada, is on the pattern of dharaba, yadribu. It should have been wa'ada, idu.
Yeah.
But here you can see there's only ayn and dal in the present tense. Is that clear, Batul?
Yes, sir.
Ya'idu is the present tense. And as you know, that the imperative, the order is always made from the second person, you. Correct?
Yes.
Once we drop the actual, once we drop the ta, what do we end up with? Once we drop the ta, we end it with. Once we drop the ya, what do we end up with?
If I drop ta, it will be here, ne?
Ido. It's remaining ido.
Yeah, here is.
So we make the last letter the dal with a sukoon, and the imperative becomes id.
It. Oh, yeah.
You got it now?
Yes.
This is what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So this is what I'm trying to explain, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do as much as I can, and then inshallah see how things progress with yourselves. So it's a different approach, same thing. Right, I'm going to ask first of all, Sister Bilqis, come back on the mic and conjugate for me all of the past tense for me.
Okay. So the past tense, daraba.
Yes.
Okay. Daraba, zaraba, zarabu, zarabat, zarabata, zarabna, zarabta, zarabtuma, zarabtum, zarabti, zarabtuma, zarabtunna, zarabtu, zarabna.
Excellent. Now the question is, which I'm going to ask you, how do you say, okay, let me ask someone else. Thank you for that, Sister Bilqis. Sister Akila, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam, Sheikh.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, and you?
Alhamdulillah. Now, Sister Akila, now, can I ask you the other, now, as you were, the past tense has 3 patterns as well, correct?
Yeah.
You remember that or you forgot? Okay, let me remind you. The past tense has 3 patterns. It can either have all of the 3 letters, can have fatha, like raraba, all of them have fatha, number 1. Or the other alternative is the middle letter has a
Kasra.
kasra, exactly. So alima. Now the middle letter has a kasra, and the other third combination is the middle letter has a
Dhamma.
dhamma. Excellent. Now I would like you to conjugate alima all of the 14 forms, please.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Huwa alima. Huma alima. Hum alimu. Hiya alimat. Huma alimata. Hunna alimna. Anta alimta. Antuma alimtuma. Antum alimtum. Anti alimti. Antuma alimtuma. Antunna alimtunna. Ana alimtu. Nahnu alimna.
Alimna. Excellent. Right. Can I request Sister Sukaina Khalfana? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good to see you, Sister Sukaina.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh.
How have you been?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. You're free at the moment?
Yeah, actually, I need to do a lot of revision. So I thought, let me join this and see what you're doing so I can keep
I'm revising everything, so it's you're more than happy. You're more than welcome to join the class, and I'm going to revise everything in a different systematic way. So I'm just trying a different approach and see what the result with this group will be.
Sure.
So let's do the kabura. So here the middle letter has a dhamma, kabura.
Okay.
So I would like you to conjugate all of the 14 forms for the past tense, please.
I'll tell you honestly, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to, like, I know the first 3, and then after that I start getting, it's not too bad when it's the Madi,
Yep.
but when it gets to the present, I really mess up because I haven't practiced. That's the honest truth, is I
No, that's
have not
fine.
practicing diligently as I am supposed to.
No, that's fine. Yes.
Okay, so I don't want you to think that I know it, and that's why I'm comfortable doing it. I'm looking at it and doing it.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. As long as you know that what is the correct approach and the actual conjugation, even though looking at it, that's perfectly fine. And inshallah, gradually, when you listen to other students, it's gradually settle in again. So that's fine. So what you can do, you can also conjugate the pronouns as well. Huwa kabura, huma kabura. If you do it that way, it allows the verb to be attached to a pronoun as well, which will make it easier for you.
Okay. Huwa kabura, huma kabura, hum kaburu, hiya kaburat, huma kaburuta, is it?
Kaburata.
Kaburata, hunna kaburna, anta kaburta, antuma kaburtuma, antum kaburtum, anti kaburti, antuma kaburtuma, antunna kaburtunna, ana kaburtu, nahnu kaburna.
Excellent. Excellent. Jazakallah. Right. Now I'm going to ask next on the mic, Sister Zainab Hassan. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Zainab.
Alaikum assalam, Sheikh.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, good. Now, Sister Zainab, now I'm going to move on now forward, and you will see I'm going to go back to the number 1, which is the one which has a dhamma, kataba, and
Mhm.
then we have the present tense, yaktubu.
Okay.
Now you will see, just remind yourself, the first 3 will have ya in the beginning, and next 3 are for she.
Ta.
2 of them have ta, and the 6th form has a ya back in again. So the ya is in the 6th form, and the next 6, all of the 6 have tas in the beginning.
Right.
And I has a alif, and then nahnu has a noon in the beginning.
Right.
So go ahead now, conjugate yaktubu, and
Okay.
then go ahead, bismillah.
I'm looking at the screen.
That's fine, and I'm going to test you afterwards with the English translation. Bismillah.
Yaktubu. Huma yaktubuna. Yaktubuni. Yaktubun.
Yaktubani.
Yeah. Yaktubani. Yaktubuna. Yaktubu. Taktubu.
Correct?
Taktubani. Taktubna. Taktubu.
No, yaktubna.
Where is it? Yeah, okay. Yaktubna, taktubu, taktubani, taktubuna, taktubuni, taktubina,
Yep.
taktubani, taktubna, aktubu, naktubu.
Excellent. How do you say he is writing?
He is writing. Yaktubu.
How do you say she is writing?
She is writing. Where is she? Taktubu.
How do you say I? I am writing.
Aktubu.
How do you say we are writing?
Naktubu.
Excellent. 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 Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Is that clear for you now?
Yeah, it's clear.
Brilliant. Sister Farhana Babar.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sister Farhana, can you conjugate on the same pattern? Would you be able to conjugate?
Which one?
The one, shall I give you the same one, yaktubu, or shall I give you a different verb pattern?
You can give me that different if you like.
I would like to give you on the pattern of kataba yaktubu, nasara yansuru.
Nasara.
Yes.
Okay, so Yansuru, he is writing. Yansurani, Yansuruna,
Correct.
Yansurun,
Yansuruna, then here.
Yansuruna, then the Yansurun. So Taksurun,
Tansuru.
Tansurun, sorry, Tansurun, Tansurani, Tansurna, Tansuru,
Surna.
Tansuruna,
No, no.
Tansuru,
1 second. Yansuru, Yansurani, Yansuruna, hiya tansuru, huma tansurani, hunna, yan.
Tansuruna, Tansuruna, Tansurunu,
No, tansu, no. So, anta tansuru, antuma tansurani, antum tansuruna, anti tansurina, antuma tansurani, antunna tansurna. Ana
Ana Tansurun,
ansur.
Tansurun,
Nahnu,
Nahnu Tansurun,
no, nansuru. So what let's remove the yansuru out of the equation. Let's do yaktubu. Go ahead.
Yaktubun, so Yansurun.
No, forget yansuru, just do yaktubu.
Okay, I read Yaktubun.
Yeah, start from huwa yaktubu. Start with huwa and translate in English as well. Huwa yaktubu, he is writing.
Okay, he is writing. Yaktubu, he is writing. Yaktuban, they both are writing.
No, I want you to read the harakat of the last letter as well. Yaktubani. With a
Okay,
noon.
Okay, Yaktubani,
Correct?
Yaktubuna.
Correct. Translate as well. What does it mean?
Okay, Yaktubuna means they all write.
Correct.
Taktubu, she write.
Yep.
Taktubani, they write.
Yep.
Yaktubna, they write.
Yep.
Taktubu, you write. Taktubani, you both write.
Correct.
Taktubuna, you all write.
You all
Taktubina,
are writing.
Yes.
you all are writing. Taktubina, you
One female.
yeah, taktubina, you write. Taktubani, you both write.
Mhm.
Taktubna, you all write.
Yep.
Uktubu, I write.
Aktubu.
Naktubu, we write.
Aktubu, I write, and naktubu, we write. Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you for that. Right. I'm going to still practice on this with this off. Sister Parveen Naqavi, can you come on mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum, Malala.
Sister Parveen, I want now to yourself change now what's happening here with the second pattern. It's now the ra is having a kasra instead of a dhamma. So I want you to do yadribu, all of the 14 forms, like a bullet. And inshallah, then I'll test you. Go ahead.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yadribu, yadribani, yadribuna, tadribu, tadribani, yadribna, tadribu, tadribani, tadribuna, tadribina, tadribani, tadribna, adribu, nadribu.
Excellent. Now, how do you say I am writing?
I
Sorry,
am writing.
I am hitting.
Adribu, adribu.
I am hitting adribu. How do you say we are hitting?
I'm hitting. Adribu,
No, we are hitting.
nadribu,
How do you say she is hitting?
tadribina.
No, she, one female.
Oh, she. Yeah, I went for you.
Yeah. This one here.
She.
Yeah.
Okay. She is tadribu.
How do you say you, one female is hitting?
Tadribina.
You all boys are hitting.
Tadribu.
No, you all boys, plural.
You all boys. Tadribuna.
Excellent. That's very good, mashallah. Next person I'm going to ask, Sister Akila.
Yes, Sheikh.
Okay, Sister Akila, I'm going to change the verb yadribu to yajlisu, which means jalasa yajlisu, sitting. He is sitting, correct?
Yeah.
Now, you may ask me, why am I doing this? The reason why I'm doing this is that when you recite the Quran, this format or this the actual template, all of the verbs in the Quran follow either the past tense, the present tense, or the imperative. They may have more letters in the verb, but the actual basic form itself is on this template itself. So that's the reason why I'm doing the basic. Once everyone is familiar with the basic, then I can move on to for the complex verbs itself. For example, I'll give you an example, another one. Which one should I give you? Which one should I give? I'll give you an example of that's not a complex one. I'll do the one the word waqa yaqi. This is a difficult one. Waqa waqaya yaqi. Has anyone heard this verb before? Waqa yaqi. No?
No.
So in the Quran, when you say Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana, waqi.
Wakina.
Wa means and, the key, the qaf by itself with a kasra, that's an imperative. That's imperative. Waqa yaqi means to protect. It's an imperative. Let me show you on the screen. Let me show you on the screen, just to give you some context. This one here. Waqa yaqi. Imperative is this one here. Ki. Just a kasra by itself on the qaf.
Okay.
So if you see here, ki, qiya, u, ki, qiya, kina. That's the imperative. Can you see how different it is from the basic verb conjugations?
Yeah. It's little like the letter wa'ada. like we saw just
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like what other? But this one is a more complex one. What's happened here? There's two weak letters. There's a weak letter in the beginning and a weak letter at the end as well. Waqaya.
okay. So
Yeah.
the vav and ya, they are weak letters.
Yeah, waw and ya, both of them are weak letters. So in the present tense, it's yaqi. In the present tense, it's yaqi. And when you make the imperative, what's actually happening? We drop the ta, and we also have to drop the ya as well, which is a weak letter. So dropping of the weak letter happens when we make the imperative. So you're left with a qaf with a kasra on there, and that's the reason why ki by itself is the order, imperative, protect.
Okay.
So the word taqwa which we have, it comes from this root word waqaya. The root word of taqwa is waqaya. Is that clear?
Yes, little.
So yeah, so just so ki by itself is imperative. That's the reason why I'm trying to do it. Is that basically for us to get yourself through the basic verb conjugations. Once you have understood this, then I can do the complex verbs itself, inshallah. Now, I would like you to go through the verb yadribu, and I want you to do yajlisu on this pattern itself, please.
يجلس. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو يجلس. هما يجلسان.
Yep.
هم يجلسون.
Correct.
هي تجلس.
Mhm.
هما تجلسان.
Correct.
هن تجلسن.
Yajlisna.
يجلسن.
Correct.
أنت يجلس. أنتم
Ta. Change the ya to a ta.
تجلس.
Mhm.
أنتما تجلسان.
Mhm.
أنتم تجلسون. أنتم تجلسن. أنتما تجلسان. أنتن تجلسن.
Yeah, so one mistake. Antum should be tajlisuna.
أنتم تجلسون.
Yep.
أنتِ تجلسن. أنتم
Tajlisina. Tajlisina. So
تجلسين.
yeah.
Okay. أنتما تجلسان. أنتن تجلسن.
Excellent.
أنا أجلس. نحن نجلس.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for that. Next student I will ask to come on the mic. Sister Murira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clearly. Yes. Now, Sister Munira, I would like you to
I'm fine.
I would like you to yaftahu conjugation 14 forms, please.
Yaftahu, fataha, no, to open, right?
Fataha means he opened. Yaftahu, he is opening or he opens. It has two meanings. The present tense either could be present or could be future. So I'm making it bigger for you. There you go.
Okay. Huwa yaftahu, huma yaftahani, hum yaftahuna. Hiya taftahu, huma taftahani, hunna yaftahna. Anta taftahu, antuma taftahani, antum taftahuna. Anti taftahina, antuma taftahani, antunna taftahna. Ana aftahu, nahnu naftahu.
Excellent, excellent. Right, that's really good, mashallah. Now, can I request next person, Sister Mukarrama Walji?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Sister Mukarrama, I'm going to give you the verb غفر يغفر. غفر يغفر. غفر, he forgave, and يغفر, he is forgiving. So يغفر, the fa has a kasra. يغفر. Conjugate the 14 forms for me, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. يغفر يغفران يغفرون تغفر تغفران يغفرن.
Excellent.
تغفر
Correct.
تغفران
Correct.
تغفرون
Excellent.
تغفرين
Correct.
تغفران تغفرن
Excellent.
أغفر نغفر.
Excellent. Excellent. MashaAllah, very good. Excellent. I'm going to ask next student to come on the mic, Sister Ma'suma Derani. Sister Ma'suma, are you there? Okay, if she's not there, then I would ask Sister Saida Mukhi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Sister Saida, I would like you to do for me Vahika yavhaku. The word Vahika yavhaku, Vab, Ha, Kaf. Vahika means he laughed. Yavhaku, he is laughing. That's a bit difficult. That's unfair for you.
Yeah, no, that is a little bit difficult.
Let me change it. Let me change it to Qara'a, Qaf, Ra, Hamza. Qara'a, Yakra'u. Yakra'u means he is reading or he is reciting. Yakra'u with the Hamza at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Yakra'u, yakra'ani,
Excellent.
yakru'una,
Correct.
takra'u, takrahani, yakrahna,
Excellent. Yakra'na. Excellent.
yakra'u.
Takra'u.
No, takra'u, takra'u, takra'ani, takra'una, takrahina, takrahani, takrahna, akrar, nakrar.
Akra'u.
Akra'u, nakra'u.
Akra'u, nakra'u. Excellent. Excellent. Sister
Yes,
Nigra.
I've been practicing a little bit.
Right. Okay. That's good. Next person I will ask to come on the mic will be Sister Narjis Darcy.
Yeah, Bismillah.
The verb which I'm going to give you, that's going to be difficult. I should give you that one. Okay, the verb which I'm going to give you, Sami'a yasma'u. Sami'a, sin, mim, ain. Sami'a, he listened or he heard. Yasma'u, he is.
Listen.
Yeah, he is listening. Sami'a. So yasma'u, Sami'a, yasma'u, he is, sorry, Sami'a, he heard, and yasma'u, he is hearing. Sami'a, yasma'u, yasma'u, he is hearing. So yasma'u, mim, sin, mim, ain, present tense, yasma'u. وأنت تسمع كلامي وترد سلامي. In the Ziyarah of Imam Rada alayhi salam, when we do this is الدخول, we say أنت تسمع كلامي, you're listening to my conversation, وتسمع كلامي وترد سلامي, and you reply to my salam. So يسمع. So conjugate the 14 forms for me. يسمع, please.
Okay. هو يسمع, he's listening. هما يسمعان.
Excellent.
Okay. هم يسمعون.
Correct.
هي تسمع.
Correct.
هما تسمعان. هن
yes.
هن يسمعن.
Excellent.
Okay. أنت يسأم. أنتما. Is it correct? Sorry.
أنت تسمع.
أنت تسمع. أنتما تسمعان.
Excellent.
أنتم تسمعون.
Excellent.
أنت تسمعين.
Excellent.
Okay. أنتما تسمعان. أنتن تسلمن
تسمعنا.
تسمعنا. I'm sorry. I'm just no. Okay. أنا تسمع.
أنا أسمع.
أنا أسمع. نحن نسمع.
Excellent. نحن نسمع. Excellent. Right. Thank you for that. Now, next person I'm going to ask is Shahla Anjum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Islam. Says Shahla Anjum. I'm going to give you the verb. The verb is I'm going to give you is masaha yamsahu. Mim, sin, ha. Masaha. You know what masaha means? To wipe. Masaha yamsahu. To wipe.
Okay.
So-
Yamsahu.
On the pattern of fataha yaftahu. Yamsahu. Go ahead.
Yamsahu. Yamsahani. Yamsahuna.
Right.
Yamsahu.
Yamsahu. Yeah. Tamsahu.
Tamsahu. Tamsahani. Yamsahna.
Excellent.
Tamtahu.
No. Here. Anta tamsahu.
Tamsahu.
Antuma.
Tamtahani.
Tamsahani.
Tamsahani. Tamsahuna.
Excellent.
Tamsahina.
Excellent.
Tamsahani.
MashaAllah.
Tamsahna.
I.
Afsahu.
Amsahu.
Amsahu. Namsahu.
Excellent. Amsahu and namsahu. Sister Batul Andani.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I will give you the verb mana'a yamna'u. Mana'a yamna'u. Mana'a, he stopped. Yamna'u, he is stopping. Yamna'u.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yamna'u. Yamnahani.
Yep.
Yamnahuna.
Yamna'una.
Yamnahuna. Yamna'una, yeah?
Yep.
Tanta'u. Tanta'ani.
Yamna'u. Yamna'ani. Yamna'una.
Which one? Here. Yamna'u.
Yep. Yamna'ani.
Yamna'ani. Yamna'ani. Yamna'anu.
Yamna'una. Yep. Then here. Tamna'u. Here. Tamna'u.
Here, yeah, okay. So starting, yeah. Yamna'u. Yamna'ani.
Correct.
Yamnahuna.
Correct.
Yamna'u. Yamna'ani. Yeah. Tamna'u. Tamna'ani.
Tamna'una.
Tamna'una. Tamna'u. Tan'ahani.
Let me change it. Let me change it for you. Make it easier for you. Let's do yaftahu on the screen, which is on the screen. Yaftahu, he is opening. Do it this one, it'll be easier.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yaftahu. Yaftahani. Yaftahuna. Taftahu. Taftahani. Taftahna.
Yaftahna.
Yaftahna. Yaftahu. Yaftahani.
No, taftahu. Sister Batul, taftahu.
Oh, sorry. Taftahu. Taftahani. Taftahuna. Taftahina. Taftahani. Taftahna.
Aftahu.
taftahu, naftahu.
After, excellent.
Sorry, sir, sorry.
No problem. Sister Sukaina Khalfan.
Yes.
The verb which I'll give yourself is going to be nazar. So the verb which I'll give you is nazar. Should I give you that one? No, let's give you the different one. Let's give you akala. Akala. So it's a hamza, kaf, lam. Akala, yakulu. Akala, yakulu. Yakulu. Akala, he ate. Yakulu, he is eating. Let's change it. Let's give you either one. Shariba, yashrabu.
Okay,
Yes.
drinking and he's drinking. Yashrabu?
Yeah, shariba, yashrabu. Ra has a fatah. Yashrabu.
Yashrabu. Okay. Okay. Yashrabu, yashrabani, yashrabuna, tashrabu, tashrabani, yashrabna, tashrabu, tashrabani, tashrabuna, tashrabina, tashrabani, tashribna,
No, Ra should have,
ashrabu.
no, the Ra should have a fatah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tashribna.
Ra, ribna ne, Ra has a fatah.
Rabna. Tashrabna.
Correct.
Yeah. Tashrabna.
Yes.
Ashrabu, nashrabu.
How do you say I am drinking?
Ashrabu.
How do you say we are drinking?
Sorry?
We are drinking.
Nashrabu.
He is drinking.
One person?
Yes.
Yashrabu.
How do you say they all boys are drinking?
Yashrabuna.
They all females are drinking.
They all females are drinking. Yashrabna.
Excellent. You all boys are drinking. Plural.
Tashrabuna.
One female is drinking.
Tashrabina.
I am drinking.
Ashrabu.
They all females are drinking.
They all females are drinking. They all females are drinking. Yashrabna.
You all females are drinking.
Tashrabna.
Excellent. Is that okay for you now?
It's good because I've been hearing them and doing it, but as soon as I don't do it and I was given an example, I know I'll be stuck. So I have to work on it, like until it stays with me.
Inshallah, what happens is this listening of other sisters as well, it really helps in
Yes, it
memorizing.
does.
Just because that's the way human beings are. Human beings remember conversations easier rather than a person speaking to himself in an isolated or room by himself. So that's the reason why I did this practice with everyone. Right? How did everyone find it overall? Sister Farhana Babar, message me. I think you're in the Quran group. Sister Farhana.
Yes.
Message me and I'll add you to one of these groups so that you can join, because inshallah, give me some time. I will start the actual Arabic through the Quran again, but because of the time restriction which I have and the limited time I have, I can't do the classes again. So inshallah, soon as I have a time, I'll start that class again so that everyone can benefit from the Quranic grammar, inshallah, from the Quran. So everyone should have this PDF file. Please, if you haven't got this PDF file, message me. I'll send it to you. And if you haven't wrote the past tense, the present tense, alima and ya'lamu, write all 6 of these different patterns. Send it across to me with you reading the Arabic and the English translation for the past and present. If you can do that to me, that will allow your mind to absorb this information and you will never forget it, inshallah. If you read them, yes, you will know them for a temporary, but if you really want to know them and want to implant it in your memory banks, then you need to write them down, inshallah. Okay, so that is much appreciated.
Tiff, could you please send the PDF file again, please?
Yeah, I'll do that for you, sister.
Thank you.
Sister Farhana, message me on WhatsApp. Just send me a private message so that I can add you to this group. Right? Inshallah.
Sheikh, please send it in this group so also I can get the file.
Okay, I'll send that again.
Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to ask you
Yes,
that to memorize, this is really easy, but would it be much better that if we memorize and then we can write a sentence like he is eating something like this, then it can stay more better in our mind?
I will
Like
do
we
that.
can.
I will do that. What I'll do is that once you've memorized them, then in class next week, I will then give you example. I'll send you, or actually, I'll send you something in the group as well, which will give you examples in the sentence constructions of them being used by different person itself as well. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that will make us easy for to memorize it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that as well. That's not an issue at all.
But Sheikh, would you please send the small sentence, yeah?
Yeah, I'll send you small sentences. He is going to the shop. I'm going to the shop. We are going to the shop. Yes, I will do that. Yes.
Because I'm very, very behind, really, I'm telling you.
Really, and the reason why I'm trying to use a different approach in this class with this batch. I want to see if how this and how does everyone respond to this as well. Because I don't, if things which are unnecessary, if I can stay away from that, I will try to do that. And that's what I'm trying to do with this batch. I'm trying to use a different approach, and I'm going to try to teach Arabic, Quranic Arabic, and make you to the level understand the Quran in a different approach. So I'm going to see if this works as well now.
But Sheikh, do you think that this Quran Arabic, like to remember,
No, so what?
To translate the sentence into when we are reciting Quran?
But what I'm doing is that rather than, because the students of this group are meant to start book 3, so rather than I'm starting book 3 them, so what I'm going to do with this group, rather than teaching them book 3, I'm going to teach them the traditional Hausawi method of teaching Arabic grammar, Arabic language. So I'm skipping book 3, and I'm going to do what I'm meant to do with the book 3 students after they finish book 3 with you now. I just want to see how you respond to that and whether you are able to absorb the information in the way I'm going to teach it.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
That's what I'm planning to do, inshallah. So I'm just want to see how you respond to it as well.
Sheikh, are you doing any of the revision classes for book 2?
I'm going to do that, sister. Bilqis, I'm going to do that as well. So don't worry about it. What I will do, if you want, I can arrange that. If you want to do it parallel with the verb conjugation, I am more than happy to do that for you.
Yeah, because I think I missed some of the lessons towards the end, and I just wanted to catch up. So I thought if you're doing any book 2 revision classes, I would be really privileged to join.
So it's before I start this itself in more in details, I will do the book 2 revision, all of it, and then I'll move forward. I'm not going to say that I'm completely leave book 2 out for yourselves. I will do the complete book 2 revision, and then I'll pursue this. But this basic stuff, verb conjugation, I did do this in the beginning of book 2, so I'm doing it as a part of your revision of book 2. And for those who are newcomers, they can benefit as well.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam. Okay. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj. We are supposed to complete book 2. Yeah, we completed book 2, Sister Munira. Now we're basically doing the revision session. So part of the revision, I'm doing this, and then once we finish the verb conjugation to the level which I taught you in the beginning of book 2, then I'll continue with the revision of book 2. Okay.
We have not finished the last 2 lessons of book 2. On Wednesday, we were doing book 2. The last lessons of book 2, we had not finished.
I remember we did. I can remember. Okay, I'll double check it.
Maybe I missed it.
Because I could, it's correct? Correct me if I was wrong.
Yeah, with Zahra Rizvi and the other girls, you have completed the book, but the other group last 2 lessons were to be done.
Which group are you talking about there?
One is group 6 and one is group 7, right?
Yes.
So group 6 is completed with Zahra Rizvi, but with Munira, the last 2 lessons were you said that you will do those 2 lessons and then you will do the revision.
Yes, fair enough. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So the last 2 lessons with them, yeah, I'll inshallah arrange that next the week or so, and I'll finish that off for yourself. Is that okay, Munira?
Thank you.
Okay, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. So inshallah, I hope this was a good refreshment for everyone, for those who had forgotten it, and inshallah we'll continue next week the same time with this, and inshallah we'll arrange the other 2 sessions for the other students.
And sir, would you please post this all like verbs one?
I'll send that across.
Yeah, please. Thank you very much.